So, it's finally time to move on to the story of Magusar, which is the main story of the game. All the way through here is the base vanilla game, and then afterwards, once we hit the last boss, it will unlock the Delta gameplay, which is all brand new. Very cool. The continue button up here can be very confusing because it keeps telling me to go to Sortiara's soul. You can ignore the continue button, it's actually not that functional. So let's go to several years later. Misery Golem.
I'm unsure why, but I laughed out loud. My abdomen split open, and my entrails came loose. I rushed to gather my exposed intestines before it was too late. My flesh rotted, my nails and teeth fell out. What maniacal design was this? Soon, I found that I was surrounded by monsters. But no matter. She thirsted for blood, Sortiara did, from within my right arm.
That sounds like our main sorcerer is having issues. He's starting to go crazy because of the bloodlust that Sortiara had that he inherited because he sacrificed her. We already learned about goblins, so we don't have to do any of that. Let's just go right in and kick some butt, shall we? It's been several years since the ordeal. I have a new partner now. Not a day goes by when I don't think back on the way she smiled. My memories are becoming vague. I remember things that surely could not have happened. Perhaps Sortiara's memory has started to eat away at me. Big desert map. Why am I alone? Did I forget to equip NPCs maybe? I don't know. These little measly guys, it's so much easier to just use that feather because this attack gets 1.87 times attack power and it doesn't consume the entire spell, so you can do it over and over again. It's a cheesy way to play, but for small little mobs it's perfect.
But what was this? My stomach, my nails, my teeth. There was nothing wrong with them at all. I was losing my mind. The world began to spin.
Are you all right?
I saw a vision of my partner. It made sense. The familiar face helped me regain composure. I knew it. It was her curse again. The monsters, my mutation, it was all in my mind. The bloodlust bubbling in my right arm occasionally pushes me to the limits of sanity. I knew then that I had precious little time. 13 days until the end of the world.
If that ain't a catch line to get you interested in continuing the story, I don't know what is.
This entry was made years after the ordeal. In the interim, our dear protagonist has been distraught, agonizing over the sacrifice of Sortiara. And now this foreboding talk about the end of the world. The old man can no longer speak. He has a gift, but for it he pays a great price. He ages at an inhumanly quick pace. Yesterday, when he could still just manage to speak, he told me this.
Do not stray from this place, no matter what.
I followed his instructions, and ferocious monsters appeared here. Yes, I see. It was not for our safety. It was for the hunt.
Okay, carnivorous slime, which we've already met before. This is basically... we need food for Magusar. So let's go feed him, shall we? The old man said he would watch me from a distance. Well, I suppose I should come clean. That old man is now my partner. The price I have paid for sacrificing Sortiara is unprecedented in its brutality. Sortiara was no ordinary sorcerer. This becomes much easier later. At other levels, you'll spawn a tree that has multiple fruit. It'll make doing that very, very easy. Check this out. And now we're up on a platform where we can fight. It's pretty neat, isn't it? And you can climb back up. This is where you can like attack the face of a monster. It's cool. Oh, he's dead anyways, though. The bonus that you get from that fruit is just so powerful. It's a little pain in the butt at the beginning, but man, is it worth it if you just want to, like, push through. It's so good. Yeah, we'll save him. We get free choice at this point in the game. It doesn't really matter. However, I am a part of Sanctuarium, so it would benefit me greatly to increase my life levels so that I can unlock Divine Arm level 2, level 3, and so forth. Stone Shield. I like this one a lot.
Soon, more monsters appeared, but I thrashed them all. My wizened partner wobbled over to the monster's corpse. His face came alive. He grew younger. The old man extends his own life by sacrificing monsters. Without sacrifices, he would not last more than 3 days. That is the price that he pays for his gift. He is my partner. He is Magusar. He also has a gift that allows him to catch glimpses of the future. We complement one another. The monsters that I must kill to quench my bloodlust allow Magusar to reverse his aging. At the moment, we have a certain objective. 12 days until the end of the world. What we have seen is a depiction of Magusar in the distant past. Now, he rules this world of ours. What do you think could have led to this? It has been several years since I met Magusar. We were both tormented by accursed bodies. And since then, we have traveled far and wide together, with our sights on a common goal. Those who do not know Magusar feel that he is unpredictable. We were well on our way, but then Magusar spoke.
My son awaits me. I must go home.
And so it was that our course was changed. But soon the whispers began. She spoke to me through my right arm. Macabre thoughts threatened to overcome me. I had to feed my bloodthirsty arm.
Feed it we shall, with grave spike goblins. Yummy, yummy, yummy. This first chapter is quite easy, so we're just going to jump in and do all of them. I'm cursed with this soul in my arm. I'm turning into a monster. Doppelgangers. Am I going to be the next to join their ranks? Magusar's premonitions come to him when he is sleeping and offer only partial glimpses of the future. Difficult though they are to believe, I dare not doubt them. I feel the hand of another guiding me. Da-da-da-da.
My premonitions. I have them that I may change the future.
Is that so? His premonitions was that he would be a voice actor in Final Fantasy XIV, which has a free demo that allows you to play blah blah blah. Critically acclaimed. Memeing for fun. Okay, Brimstone Edge. So we finally got the heat spear that I have been wanting. Good. So if we need to ever go up against the behemoth or any other tree like that, we'll use that. This is good. And we unlocked chapter 4. And now this is interesting. We do unlock Magusar here, so we can now have him join us as an NPC on regular packs because, hey, we're partners. Of course, he's not like a god or anything right now.
The massacre of the monsters helped calm my murderous right arm. And with each passing day, the bloodlust becomes harder to satiate. I am not far from becoming a monster myself.
Come, we must go from here.
Magusar was ready. Determined to see this son of his as quickly as possible. Wonderful. What a partner. Now, as for Magusar's son, I'm afraid that they will never have their reunion. Because no son ever existed in the first place. 11 days until the end of the world. The author of this journal spent countless days and nights with Magusar. Magusar had become a dear friend. So, read on. Those who sacrifice the lives of others pay a special price. The soul of the victim flows through one's right arm, along with their memories, their emotions. On rare occasions, the memories of the victim entangle with one's own. Magusar has no son by blood. It was likely a memory inherited from a monster. It happened 2 days ago. We claimed a victim, and its memory must have seeped into Magusar. Foreign as it may be, this memory had driven Magusar to seek a son who is not his own. Such is the bond of family. We neared the town where his supposed son lived.
Alright, looks like we're just going up against a bunch of orcs. Nothing serious, no boss monsters or anything like that. So this is more, I think this chapter is just more focused on getting to know the author and Magusar. Let me double check my ornaments are good, looking good. Okay, off we go. We've already read the entry on orcs, I believe. If not, remind me in the comments and I will read it. Many years have passed since Magusar and I set out on our journey together, and yet I feel like I've known him even longer. Perhaps it's just my imagination. My memories are vague. The more I sacrifice, the more my victims' memories eat away at my own. I'm turning into someone else. It's not good.
We will soon meet my son. We must hurry.
I like how we are now sacrificing and saving trees. Seems that magic will corrupt anything given the chance. Okay, orcs handled. Gaining a bunch of souls here so I can buff up my defense. Try to get that divine arm level 2. Not sure how Magusar would feel about that, but hey, as long as he gets his sacrifices right.
reached the village, but were met with no welcome and no sign of life. The damage to the structures suggested the work of monsters. On one corner, Magusar stopped in his tracks. At his feet lay a small toy. It must have belonged to a child. Heaven help that child now. Magusar peered intently at the toy. Perhaps he knew from the very beginning that this memory of a son was not his own. Perhaps he knew, but could not help himself. Fond memories are exalting. Sad memories wrench at the heart. It matters not whose memories they are. Magusar still had their memories. He could see his son playing with the toy that rested at his feet. He studied it for some time. Then a tear ran down his cheek. 10 days until the end of the world. Your memories, meshed with those of another, could mean you begin to lose sight of who you are. Before long, you may be someone else, just like Magusar. Why do we hunt monsters? Because it is the sorcerer's calling to hunt down monsters and protect the peace. And that's what we are taught. But one cannot easily set aside one's feelings. I thirst for blood. Magusar thirsts for victims. Our next target appeared at the very spot that Magusar predicted. I was overcome with the urge to kill. My thoughts were overcome by a dark bloodlust. I relished my mercilessness. I felt empowered.
Okay, so it seems we have an extermination pack against the Elven Queen, which means we get another story to read. The bottom of the valley had once lain barren and lifeless. Then a single seed floated down, and before long a dandelion appeared. In time the valley floor became a sea of dandelions. However, the dandelion seeds could not escape from the valley. Enriched by high cliffs, the seeds could not float free, but only fall again to the valley floor. Within these confines, only a certain number of dandelions could thrive. Within all living things is a desire to leave as many offspring as possible, but the dandelions of the valley could not satisfy this need. One day, a woman lost her footing and fell from one of the cliffs into the valley. Now, a fall from such a great height would normally prove fatal, but the woman landed on a bed of dandelions and survived. Though she was covered in blood, she did not appear to be injured. When the woman came to her senses, she gazed around her in astonishment. She saw the impossibility of clawing her way out. Walking the valley floor, she found not the dead ends. She was trapped. The relief she had felt upon the realization of her survival quickly turned to anxiety. Yet it was perhaps for the best. Even if she managed to climb out of the valley, her life was still as good as over. The woman thought about all she had been through. For as long as she could remember, she always wanted children. But her hopes had gone unanswered, and the years had gone by without her ever becoming a mother. Upon seeing a woman with children, she seethed with envy. Unable to control her emotions, she had resorted to measures somewhat drastic to fulfill her desire. The fate that had now befallen her must be divine justice. The woman grew more frail. If she could ever be reborn, she hoped she would have children in her next life. The woman prayed as her eyes closed. No sooner had her eyes shut than she heard a curious sound. She was not imagining it. She could hear it clearly. When she opened her eyes, she saw a mysterious chalice floating in the air. It told her that she could have her heart's desire, if she was willing to pay the price. As her world grew dim, the woman made her wish. A dandelion seed fell on the woman and in no time began to grow. The woman's roots spread beneath the woman's skin and it drew nutrients from her blood as it blossomed. The color and shape of the dandelion that grew from the woman's body was different from any flower that had been before. In finding each other, both woman and dandelion were changed. An impossibility within the confines of the barren valley had occurred. Life had taken on a completely new form. A woman and a dandelion had merged. Though they came from entirely different species, they shared the same desire to reproduce. Flowers flourished all over the woman's body, eventually covering her in a soft down of dandelion seeds. These seeds separated her from the stems and grew white wings which let them flutter in the air. Perhaps this had transpired from the instinctive desire within the seeds to fly beyond the confines of the valley. The seeds could fly about the valley on their own, but wanted to be close to the woman, so nestled around her body. The woman felt a deep warmth within her. She realized that these were her children now. She had finally become a mother. She called her children elves. The woman and these elves made the valley their home, a kind of kingdom for the dandelions. The woman finally knew true happiness. She had all she desired and began to forget the life she had led outside the valley. Then one day, one of the elves attempted to scale the cliff face and escape the valley. The woman, now calling herself Elven Queen, scolded her child, saying that none were permitted to leave. The woman knew that if her children began to leave the valley, she would awake from her beautiful dream. She dreaded to think what might then become of her. But the elves' curiosity remained strong, though the queen told them time and time again not to stray from her sight. Then, unknown to his mother, one elf finally managed to climb out of the valley and others soon followed in his wake. The queen was beside herself. Some of the elves that had left the valley had not returned. She was terrified that something had happened to her children. She could not rest until she knew they were safe. But she was aware that leaving the valley was dangerous. She could not tell what would happen if she ventured back into the outside world. Conflicting emotions raged within the woman. In the end, her maternal instinct won out, and she decided that she must leave the valley. She gathered all of her children and carried them on her back, forming a giant pair of wings. She flew out of the valley. As she flew through the air, she saw some familiar sight in the city she had been born and raised. She had forgotten, or rather she had tried to forget. But now the memories rushed back to her. She remembered how she had pursued, how she had been trapped, and how she had lost her footing and fallen into the valley. Everyone must have thought that she had died. No doubt they had all been glad to see the back of her, for she had been a notorious kidnapper. Now the woman returned to the city of her birth. She couldn't hold it in any longer. Her very blood called out. There was no denying it. There was something special about human children. She still longed for one deep down. This dark desire overwhelmed her, and she began to search for children once again. In the old days, she considered this as natural as breathing. She had always been alert, always looking. She felt a tug of desire whenever she saw a child. If only he or she was her own. And then, as if she judged them worthy, she would take the child and treat it as her own. How many times has she done this? It must have been the 13th attempt that ended in her fall. As she saw the child before her, she made up her mind. She would take this child with her back to the valley. Then she would plant dandelions on its body. That way, a whole new type of elf would surely be born. This is how it began, and the Elven Queen continues to spirit children away to this day. That's not cool. Like, I get the maternal instinct, but you don't go around stealing people's children. She's gotta die. I'm not saving her, I'm sorry. No, can't do it. Not as a father. Compelled by my bloodlust, I dispose of living beings as though they were nothing. It sickens me. Someone, stop me, please. Magusar and myself. This peculiar trait is something we share. That and a desire for an ordinary body. Because of the chalice monsters burden the world, a legend that grants fulfills one's desire, though the price can be very dear indeed. More like be careful what you wish for. It's a trick. It's a trap.
We will put an end to it, by any means necessary.
So Elven Queen, so I'm going to armor up. I want this to go by relatively fast, so I am going to buff myself. Pew! Alright. Let's do this. Where is she? Oh, there she is. She's a very easy hunt, actually. The dandelions on her upper body are breakable. So we can actually get up high and just start going to town on her. Wow, she's dead already. I don't think I broke all her parts. That's the problem when you buff yourself too much. Any hit that you do that's not to a broken part could accidentally just kill them before you break everything. But it's okay, we're just at the beginning of the game anyways, right? No need to be so serious. She's kind of cute.
Let us finish this.
I can't save a kidnapper. I just can't. Sorry, but you have to atone.
Let us finish.
Goodbye. Cotton Maid's Wings. So this is another one that allows us to do special evasion. I think it just lasts for a better duration as the one we have now. I could be wrong though. We'll check it out. Wow, lots of sigils. Okay, let's see the ending to this chapter.
The monster was sacrificed, and Magusar's aging reversed immediately.
That was the one, I'm certain.
The memory of a monster had revealed the downfall of the town.
That's who killed my son.
We went through the ruins in search of traces, in search of whoever did this. We felt it our mission to purge this guilty beast. And yet, this would not appease the ire of the poor souls who were sacrificed by our hands. But, as we all know, the human heart is not so simple a matter. Perhaps we felt the need to pray for the souls of the dead. How easy things would be if we could be rid of emotion. But we are not monsters after all. The moment the bloodlust of my right arm overcomes me, I will transform into a monster. I know this because my prophetic partner has told me so. 9 days remaining. My only wish is to live as humanly as possible my few remaining days. If this is hypocrisy, so be it. 9 days until the end of the world. Several days later, Magusar clung to the toy that we found, holding it close. How deeply can memories come to affect us? How vividly they stay with us, even if they are not our own. About now, the sanity of the author begins to erode. Could Sortiara's soul in the sorcerer's right arm be the cause? The journal describes the author's transformation into a monster. You have been warned. It's no pleasant tale.
Okay, so that brings us to the next chapter, Destiny's Past, which we will do in the next episode. However, I do want to go back and do this one really fast and save, because I noticed that the ending said that we sacrificed her, which makes me think that there may be an alternate ending if we save her. Now, I want to make sure this is clear. I'm only doing this for the video. I don't want to save this Elven Queen. I don't like her. Magusar's not very happy with me. Oh, chump woman! You're stealing baby's foot! I want to kill her.
Her form was restored. I asked about the incident. She admitted her wrongdoing, saying, "I'm sorry." Magusar spoke.
Think of your victims, and think of what you can do to atone.
Perhaps this will give the victims some sense of peace. We went through the ruins in search of traces. In search of whoever did this. We felt it our mission to purge this guilty beast. And yet, this would not appease the ire of the poor, but as the human heart, perhaps we felt the need. How easy things would be, but the moment I know that I have my own, if the 9 days. 7 Magos, how deeply can how?
And there you go. That tells you the alternate ending that we could have got. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you look forward to the next one, which will be Destiny's Past. Should be a fun time. Not as depressing as this episode was, hopefully. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy sacrificing or saving.